Hello and welcome to day 2 of the week of single figure reviews. If you're watching this the day it comes out, I'm off camping and have elected to make several easy to finish videos so they actually get out on time, considering I only have less than half the time I normally would to make my 3 usual videos a week. If after Sunday's video you never see anything else from this channel, I was probably killed and eaten by a deer. You might think I meant to say bear, but knowing my luck, I'd get killed by the lamest thing possible. Anyways, figure review. Earthrise Smokescreen, my newest acquisition. Anyone who's watched this channel for any length of time will know that I'm not big on Earthrise, but they should also know that this mold is one of the few that I was giving credit before I ever got a hold of it. With it finally actually in hand, does that still hold true? Well, it's interesting to say the least. Let's start out with the look of the figure. It's obvious to anyone who's seen them both that this is a retool of the Siege Prowl mold. Of the Siege Prowl mold. That is hard to fucking say. Now, while I like the cyber stylization, this is absolutely an improved product. For starters, it's a smidge taller. The feet are also significantly cooler looking and the thighs are far more substantial. The design looks overall more proportionate, though the legs are clearly longer than they were before. The arms are a mild downgrade though, with just slightly less dimension to its Siege counterpart. One thing I like is that they pushed the hood of the car forward, which means that the wings now are mounted directly behind the shoulders. The Siege version always looked like they were floating a little too far behind their backs. Though, those G-cups gotta get in the way of picking up anything you drop. The paint job is good for the most part, but I have a lot of questions about it. For starters, I don't know why they changed his racing number. I mean, that's like the most inconsequential of issues, but it's also something very easy to not get wrong. Other stupid stuff you shouldn't care about, but I noticed, is that the red is too dark. It's more of a brick color than a candy red like it's supposed to be. Also, the racing stripes are on the wrong part of the car. I know they are the nittest of nitpicks, but it's stuff I'm noticing. It's not bad because it's not conforming to G1, but I did think that was kind of the point of this line, so I'm just wondering why these simple details were missed. What is actually bad though is the paint they used on the face. This is some cheap crap, dude. Like, damn, it's visibly porous and crappy from a distance, and it's mildly rough to the touch. It's very matte too, there is no shine on it. This might be the most I've talked about paint, and my very last review was specifically the Ultra Special Paint Job Edition. But now would also be a good time to bring up the fact that the materials here feel like crap. Like, the plastic quality here feels like a shocking decline. It feels cheap and thin, and I don't know quite how to phrase this, but compared to the Siege materials, it feels dry. Now, while it does feel a little brittle, I don't think it's excessively so. This could very well be fine, like, I'm not worried it's going to break. It's just that when it's compared directly to the Siege figure right next to it, I can't help but notice the difference. What really drove this home was the first time I tried to put his gun in his hand. It just wouldn't go. Like, I'm pretty sure there was just flashing all inside his fist and I had to break it out of the way before it could even begin to fit in. Even now, the gun doesn't want to go in or come out. It really feels like there's just something wrong here. Let's move on to a happier subject. Posing here is fantastic. Really, it should be identical to the Siege mold, but there's just something here that feels better. It wants to stay in whatever I put it in, and it looks really cool doing just about anything, and it just wants to work with you. He doesn't really have anything a normal Siege figure doesn't, but his feet with their crazy tilt and their stonking huge size just give him the stability he needs. Plus, they're entirely free moving, no ratchets or anything to get stuck between settings on. Transformation here is the same as the Siege. Anyone who tells you differently is lying. There's like one extra step where you hide the heel covers, and like one fewer where the stomach piece also fills the hood gap, but outside that, it would be completely and utterly identical if it weren't for the tolerances. There is just something about the new shape of his shins that prevent you from having an easy time collapsing his legs. Whereas on the original figure, it didn't really care when you collapse the shins into the thighs. No, this one can only be done at a specific time now. And you end up with this pretty cool little car. Not much to say about this. The peg tires look really bad, but outside that, I don't really have a lot to say. Very car. Much roll. Such dead memes. I suppose the car mode is rounder than the G1. Yeah, we're back on that again. Everyone talks about how G1 this line is, but I'm seeing a lot of not G1 here, and I'm not allowed to bring it up. Look, I'm not begging for this to be more G1. I'm just saying that I got lynched for criticizing this line because it looks G1, and how can I not appreciate that? I don't even know what I'm trying to say with this. Really, I'm just spotting discrepancies with the reason that this line is so loved and the reason that people hate the fact that I don't love this line with them. Summing up, it looks good, it feels less good than it looks, but it's still something I'm comfortable with recommending. Oh, and I like the gun more than the Siege equivalent, though the shoulder guns look much less cool, but on the other hand, they also give them 4 extra weapon ports. If you don't have the Siege mold, or you do, but you want more of it, this will do you great. I do question why the plastic and the paint have taken a nosedive at the same time as Hasbro has reintroduced part forming and extreme shell forming, though. Anyways, that's not half of what I have to say, but it's enough of what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos, so if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.